Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm sorry that I didn't make an introduction for my first YouTube class. I was basically impulsively excited about starting this YouTube channel, so I jumped out of bed, didn't even have a tripod, didn't even plan the flow or anything, and I just started going. So here's a proper introduction now. My name is Olivia. I live in Ontario, Canada. I'm a 240-hour certified yoga instructor, and I'm really excited to be here, and I'm really excited to have you here, and thank you for joining me. To get started, you're just gonna come into a seat. Hi. So you're just gonna arrive on your mat, recognizing this as a safe place for you to unwind. Gently closing the eyes and taking a few deep breaths in and out through your nose. Leaving your day behind, focusing on the present moment in the next 15 minutes or so. Maybe taking this time to set an intention, whether it's an affirmation, a word, or maybe it's a phrase. Anything that you'd like to cultivate into your life. If you're ready for movement, you're just going to come to face the top of your mat. Bringing both hands behind your back, interlacing the fingers, and then bringing your fist into your right hip crease. Tilting your head over to the left side, feeling a nice shoulder stretch here. Maybe doing a couple of half circles to get a different sensation. Maybe taking stillness. Remember to do what feels good in your body. Now reaching your fist down to the mat, open up the chest, and then bring that fist over into your left hip crease, tilting your head over to the right side. Maybe starting to create some movement here, maybe taking stillness. Extending your fist back down to the mat, opening up through the chest, and then diving down forward, bringing your forehead to the mat as close as you can, reaching your arms up and back, and then bringing your left shoulder over to your left knee, and then over to the right side, making that connection there, and then rising all the way back up. Coming into a tabletop here, keep your spine neutral, wrists are under the shoulders, knees are under the hips. Pick up that right leg and extend it to the back of the mat. And when you're ready, you're going to pick up the left arm, bicep along the ear as you lift the right leg up. Either staying here or we're going to start crunching elbow to knee. Inhale to lift, exhale to round the spine. Keep moving at your own pace. And again, either staying here or we're going to come into tiger pose. You're going to bend through the right knee, reach back with the left arm and grab the outside of your foot. Kick your foot into your hand into your foot, keeping the chest lifted. And now gently extending that right leg out to the right side, keeping it straight. You're going to lift on up. Extend that right arm down that right leg, left arm up. And then releasing your left hand outside your left knee, extending the right arm up, reversing that side stretch, and then coming all the way back into your tabletop. This time kicking your left leg back. When you're ready, extend the right bicep along your right ear, lift the left leg up, flex through the foot, starting to crunch your right elbow over to your left knee. Inhale to lift, exhale to round. Just a few more rounds here, working the core. Either continuing this movement or you're going to come into your tiger pose by bending into the left knee, reaching back with the right hand, kicking your foot into your hand into your foot, keeping the chest lifted and breathing here. Now gently releasing your left leg out to the left side, keeping it straight, reaching that left hand down your left leg, reaching your right arm up and over your head. Reversing that stretch by bringing your right hand outside your right knee and reaching your left arm up this time. Circling your arms to the top of your mat, you're going to step back into a high plank and then lift your hips up and back for a downward facing dog. Maybe keeping a bend through the knees, maybe pedaling out the feet. Making sure to press evenly through both hands, spreading the fingers nice and wide. Coming onto the top of your right toes, bending through the right knee, feeling that stretch. And then just switching sides, coming onto the tops of your left foot, bending through the left knee. Returning just to a neutral down dog before you pick the right leg up and back to a three-legged dog. Hug that knee into your chest and step the foot in between the hands and rise up to a high crescent lunge. Keeping your knee stacked over your ankle and then starting to tilt forward, arms back, rising back up, tilting forward once more, lifting the chest off the thigh, bringing your arms up and over your head, pivoting on the back foot, opening your hips to the left side, coming into Warrior Two, starting to straighten through the right leg, coming into triangle. You're just going to bring your right hand down to your foot or shin or thigh, trying to keep the shoulders stacked here. Keep the chest lifted as if you were leaning onto a wall. And then bringing that left hand down to meet your foot, stepping the left foot in a little bit, and then just folding over that right leg. Feel free to keep a generous bend into the right knee. Coming on to the fingertips, you're going to stay strong through the right leg, kick your left leg up and back, and rise your chest up if you want to play with your balance. Coming into Warrior Three. Bend into the right knee and then step your left foot back, coming back into a high crescent lunge, windmilling the hands down, stepping into your plank. Shift forward, bend your elbows, lower down chaturanga. Inhale to upward facing dog. Roll over the toes, lift your hips up and back for downward facing dog. Coming onto the other side, you're going to pick your left leg up and back for three-legged dog. Hug the knee into your chest and step it through to a high crescent lunge. Again, trying to stack the knee over the ankle as you shift forward, coming into runner's lunge. Inhale, raise the arms up. Hips are square to the front of the mat. Exhale, tilt forward. Inhale to rise back up. Pivoting on the back foot, opening up your hips to the right side. Press down through the outer edge of your back foot. Starting to straighten through that left leg, coming into triangle pose, bringing your left hand to your foot, shin, or thigh. Keeping a bend through the left knee if you need to. Rotating that right hand down to frame your front foot. Step your right foot in a little bit, coming into a pyramid fold here. Trying to bring your chest down to your left thigh. Then coming onto the fingertips, grounding down to the left foot, raising your right leg up and back, bringing your right hip down, finding a point of focus. Bend into the left knee, bringing your right foot down, returning to high crescent lunge. And then taking your flow here. Starting in your high plank, you're going to start to shift forward, bending through the elbows into the body for chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, roll over the toes, downward facing dog. Start to bring the gaze in between your hands. Bend generously through the knees and hop your feet to the edges of your mat and sit your hips low, coming into Malasana or Yogi Squat. Bringing your hands to heart center, pressing the elbows into the knees, opening up the hips. If you'd like to go a little deeper, you're just going to extend your hands out to the top of your mat, tuck the chin, round your spine. And then bringing your right shoulder on the inside of your right knee, lifting that left arm up, coming into a twist. Exhale to come onto the other side. And then returning back to your Malasana. Plant through the hands, and then you're either going to jump or step back into plank or chaturanga. Inhale for upward facing dog. Exhale, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Lift the right leg up and back, and then step your right foot on the outside of both of your hands, coming into a lizard lunge. Feel free to shift forward and backward here, opening up through the hips, picking up that right hand, placing it onto your knee, coming onto the knife edge of your foot, maybe gazing over that right shoulder. Lift up the right arm, and then lift the hips up. Exhale to sink the hips back down. Inhale to rise. And then place the right hand back on the inside of the right foot. Lower down the left knee. Bending through that left leg and then reaching back with the right arm to grab the outside of your foot. If you can't reach, it's okay to just be working towards that general direction. Sinking the hips down here, remembering to breathe. And then gently and slowly lowering that left foot back down, stepping your feet back, and then lift your hips for downward facing dog. Picking your left foot up and back and stepping your foot on the outside of your left hands. Shifting forward and back here into this lizard lunge. When you're ready, you're going to pick up your left hand and place it onto the left knee. Gaze over the left shoulder. Extend your left arm as you raise your hips all the way up. Exhale to lower down. Inhale to rise. Exhale to lower. Inhale all the way back up. And then bring your hand back into a lizard lunge. Dropping the right knee down. You're going to untuck the toes, coming onto the knife edge of your left foot. Bending through the right knee and reaching back to grab a hold of your foot. Sinking down through the hips here, maybe gazing over that shoulder. Just a couple more deep breaths here. Begin to gently release that foot down, stepping both feet to the back of your mat. Exhaling, lowering halfway down to chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pick your left leg up and bring it to the top of your mat. Pivot your feet so that you're facing the right edge of your mat. Keep your legs straight and then hinge forward into a wide-legged forward fold. Maybe planting through the palms and bending the elbows. Maybe interlacing your fingers behind your back. Adding a shoulder stretch into this hip opener. Wherever you are, just remember to breathe. Engage your core, come all the way back up, straight legs, hands at heart center. Start to bend into the right knee, keep your left leg straight, coming into Skandasana, over to the left side, and then just going back and forth. If you'd like to add a challenge, maybe try going back and forth without using your hands, and just focusing on the strength of your legs. Let's do one more each side, and then come to face the top of your mat. Step your feet back to plank, exhale lower chaturanga, inhale upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Sticking with this theme of hip opening, you're going to raise your right leg up, bending through the knee and bringing it to the inside of your right wrist as you extend your left leg back, coming into a pigeon pose. You can stay here, or if you'd like to try a mermaid bind, you're just going to bend through the left knee, reaching back with the left arm, hooking your foot into your elbow crease, reaching that right arm up and over, and maybe interlacing those fingers together. Elevate your chin slightly to gaze up as you open up through the chest. Time to relax. We're just going to come into a sleeping pigeon. Straighten out that left leg, maybe resting your forehead onto your forearms. If you'd like to add a quad stretch, you're going to thread your left arm through, placing your left ear down on the mat. And then just bend through that left leg, reach back through the right arm, and pull the foot into your glute. Gently release your left leg down, curl the left toes under, and then step both feet to the back of the mat, transitioning through downward facing dog to come onto the other side. Lift the left leg up and back, bring your left knee to the inside of your left wrist, stretching that right leg back. You're either going to stay here or you're going to work your way into your mermaid bind by bending through the right leg. Reach your right arm back, hooking your foot into your elbow crease, lifting your left arm up, and maybe interlacing your fingers behind your head. Trying to keep your gaze up so that your chest stays lifted, sinking down through the hips. Carefully releasing your bind as you let that right leg go to the back of the mat. Now we're just going to fold down into a sleeping pigeon, maybe resting onto your forearms. If you'd like to add that quad stretch, you're just going to thread that right arm through, right ear down to the mat. Bend through the right knee, reach back with the left arm, and pull your foot into your glute. Carefully releasing that bind, you're just going to come sit to face the long edge of your mat, coming into a seated forward fold, trying to bring your heels so that they're aligned with the edge of your mat. Inhale to rise your arms up and overhead, and then you're just going to extend and fold all the way down. Trying to flex through the feet here, trying to let gravity do the work. Maybe grabbing onto the feet and bringing the chest down if that feels good. Inhale to rise the chest back up. Walk the hands in, and then just come to take a seat. Just taking a second to slow down the practice. You're going to take your right hand to the outside of your left knee, left hand out behind you, gaze over the left shoulder. Twisting to the other side, left hand to the right knee, left hand out behind you, gazing over the left shoulder. And then just unwinding, coming to face center, closing your eyes, bringing your hands to heart center, bringing the thumbs to your third eye chakra, the center of your forehead, allowing yourself to view the infinite possibilities that exist within you. Thank you so much for the honor of allowing me to guide you through this practice. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, and I hope to see you again on the mat soon.